time and time again.
Great morning, great Monday morning, everybody. It's your man OG Truth with the two, Hurts with a Z, coming with the weekend review. Pretty interesting weekend in the world of sports around here. We're gonna talk some college football, briefly touch on the Braves, WNBA, and week one with the Falcons. I'm pretty sure what everybody gonna talk about. First of all, make sure y'all hit them buttons, everybody. 6MK Live and Truth Sports and Entertainment. Okay, let me get the Braves out the way, because after I talk about the Braves today, we can just basically pack it up to spring training. The Braves right now, they just pretty much done mailed it in. We gave up 28 runs, 28 runs Saturday and Sunday. I don't know. I never would have thought that we would be looking like this. Um, I guess I got so used to the Braves turning it on at a certain point to where I was expecting it to happen this year, and it didn't. We got hit with a slew of injuries, but in the past we've been able to overcome injuries. So now here we are. They pretty much out of it. Um, Only thing right now to look forward to is to see if we can get a postseason award, maybe out of Drake Baldwin, a Rookie of the Year candidate. But it's going to be kind of hard if with the Braves looking like that. I'm pretty sure it's a couple more rookies out there whose teams are in the hunt that may overtake him. Um, I'm I'm extremely disappointed in what's going on just with this organization. Um, it's been a steady decline ever since we won the World Series. The shit hit the fan starting with us losing Freddie. Then the following year we lost Dansby, and then the following year we lost Max Fried. Now losing Freddie, I kind of understood. There's a whole lot of underlying shit going on with Freddie, his family situation, and you know whatever went on with the agent. Um, it's a whole it's a couple stories to that. Right now, my issues with Alex Anthopoulos. Um, Giving credit to him, he made it. He pushed the necessary buttons back the year we won the World Series. He went out and got Duvall back, and then Rosario, and then um, Soler and Jock Peterson. Those were, I mean, he hit on all those moves. Each one of those guys played key roles when we won the World Series. Um, but in doing that, he he crippled. He wound up crippling the farm system. And I try to tell people that, I'm like, understand now what's going on. We may pay for it a couple years down the road. Right now, we're paying for it. Our farm system is need to play catch up. Um, this is Brian Snicker's last year, so really, right now, it's all about who's going to take over. Quinn Snicker finally leaves at the end of the year. There's several candidates. My personal favorites will be Marquise Grissom, Chipper Jones, Eric Young, Walt Weiss, Eddie Perez. We're just gonna see how that go. Um, there are a few guys that may be up on the trade block. You hearing Mike Harris' name? I doubt if they trade Mike Harris. It wouldn't be a good look to trade Mike Harris. He went through a little terrible slump this year. He seemed to get it back together. Been after he got it back together, he's been a little up, been a little down. Um, Sean Murphy probably is going to be an odd man out because of the emergence of Drake Baldwin. And then you got guys like Rasul Iglesias, Marcelo Zuna. Um, Seems like the Braves might need to hit a reset button. But what I'm concerned with is a couple years down the line, Ronald Acuna is going to be up, and Anthopoulos done showed that he's not willing to pay out a Bryce Harper, Manny Machado, Shohei Ohtani type contract, and you better believe that guy's going to require that type of money. So we're going to see how that goes. Could the Braves even think about possibly trading Acuna to try to help replenish his farm system, which will send the fan base up in Okay. Seems like we had lost audio. Can y'all hear me now? All right, can y'all hear me now? Okay. Yeah, yeah, you can't hear me. I was on the Atlanta Dream. We just like I was saying, Atlanta Dream pretty much got a title team in my opinion. Um, the ceiling is a world title. The floor could be first round ouster. It's a lot of good teams. The playoffs should be good in the W. The team that concerns me the most at the bottom will be the Seattle Storm. They got good. They got a good veteran presence. Okay, we're going again. LT.
What's that? What's that?
Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So going. Say I'm going in and out. All right. Can y'all hear us now?
Right. I can hear you now.
Okay. All right. So good luck to the Atlanta Dream. We're gonna see how it goes. They got, like I said, they got the team to go up there and to go out there and possibly win it, or they can go home in the first round. It's a lot of good. It's a lot of good teams going to the playoffs in the W. Let's go on and shift to college football. I missed the Georgia game on Saturday. So LT, I'm gonna let you give me your take on Georgia this weekend.
Uh, I mean, I didn't really watch much of it myself, but I can tell you from what I did see, they better get their act together when they start playing these real teams because the first two games was really cakewalk. I consider them dress rehearsals. You play Marshall the first game, you play Austin Peay the second game. Those are dress rehearsals. You ain't played nobody yet. As far as saying in your conference or any real comp. So I need you. They need to get their act together if they want to plan on winning a national championship. I can tell you that much.
See, the thing about it with schools like Georgia, it's a revolving door as far as talent. Each year they have guys hitting the portal. They got guys declaring early, and then they got to bring in new guys, albeit talented guys. They got to bring in new guys, and they got to get them acclimated. And when you play in schools like Marshall and Austin P, a lot of those teams have guys that stay there 4 years, and they have they have on field experience, even though they don't have the talent. They got on field experience. So when they going up against teams like Georgia, Alabama, Texas, Ohio State, the heavyweights, those teams got to always be on upset alert when it comes to playing teams like Marshall and Austin P. Um, Again, we already know that they're not as talented as teams as team like the aforementioned team. I saw a lot of people were going in about the O line. I know Warren Gaston got a suffered an injury, a slight ankle sprain against
Mm,
Marshall. To my understanding, he should be ready to go against Tennessee, but that's a wait and see. But that's a true freshman. I mean, so we don't want to. If we depended on a true freshman to get back for the O line to be uh, back intact, now that's
we
something to
got
be
a
concerned
problem.
about. You know, I mean, he's a big kid now. Six, you got kids 6'6", 360, and he's once like around 6, but he was once around 390. The boy is mammoth. I personally know him and his family. I'm telling you, that's a big old kid. So Georgia got to get their act together. They got Tennessee this weekend. Is it in Athens or in Knoxville?
Now that part I don't know. I don't know if it's in Dallas or not.
No, no,
If I'm
no,
not
no. Now last year we played them in Athens, so it's got to be in Knoxville
in
this year.
Knoxville, so yeah, so they got to go to Tennessee this year and see. You can't, like you said, with this transfer portal stuff, you can't just scoff at anybody that you play these days because of that. And the main thing, Georgia just got to get their act together when it comes to this, because people are going to play you tough, and they know you look at yourselves as the team to beat in the conference. So they definitely feel to bring their A game. So anytime Georgia step on the field against anybody, you better believe you won't get their best shot. So Georgia better, if since you want to be the king that wears the crown, you gotta have your guard up all season.
Absolutely. So Georgia got a big one this weekend. I don't know who Tech plays. They had a cakewalk pretty much against Gardner Webb.
Yeah,
Uh,
they ran through them as well. So I mean, like I said, that was a dress rehearsal,
yeah. So
game.
um, looking forward to big things out of Tech this year. They had a big win against Colorado. Tech was, to me, Tech was clearly the better team against
Mm,
Colorado, but for obvious reasons, it turned out to be a pretty significant win. For one, um, it was you going up against the coach primes. So right now, I guess the focal part of their offense is their quarterback, Haynes King. Even though we got good talent over there with Malik Rutherford and Jamal Haynes on the offensive side of the football, they got a pretty uh, fast downhill defense. So we're gonna see how this plays out. In a perfect world, I would love to see um, uh, uh, because I mean, if Tech can beat, well, I think if they can win 2 games, they could possibly go into the final game of the season with one loss um, against Georgia, and Tech will be in the running for ACC title, which that means they'll be in running for a playoff spot,
but
and
and I
that,
would love to see both Tech and Georgia in the playoffs at the same time. I'm not gonna lie to you.
yeah, that'd be beautiful for the state. All right, let's go on and let's go on and attack this big ass elephant in the room. Falcons yesterday played the opening game against Tampa. We lost 23-20. There's a whole lot of shit that you know that went on in that game. It's a lot of hot takes. It's a lot of finger pointing. It's a lot not finger pointing within the organization, but from with the fans. It's today is overreaction Monday. Um, you got some people with the ire at the head coach, offensive coordinator, offensive coordinator's play calling in particular. Even though we had 4 receivers for over 50 yards, three of those receivers had 6 catches or more, and one of those 3 receivers was Bijan Robinson. Then we lost LT again. It's crap. He'll come back. Um, for hold up. All right, okay, we back. All right,
Yeah,
LT. It was a lot of good and a lot of not so good that took place yesterday. First of all, let me get something out the way for all of you preseason matters folks. Our first offensive drive, we went 3 plays, touchdown. And they first 2 offensive drive, they went 6 plays, 3 and outs. And the minute we start on the drive, that's when preseason matter. Would you like to? Would you care to touch on that?
I mean, I know you got some folks that make it seem like that don't matter. To me, that does, because I mean, dress rehearsal. You need some sort of dress rehearsal. I don't need you trying to figure stuff out when the season starts, because when in the game of football, when week one gets here, every game matters. Every single one. I don't need you testing shit out when it's time for you to win, because you didn't do it with the starters when they had the opportunity to get at least some sort of reps. Like I said, you ain't had to play a bunch of game downs. You could have played two series, just to see what y'all looking like, get a feel of the game, whatever the case may be, and go from there. I mean, but like as far as saying like, now I ain't saying they need to play quarters. Like no, like a couple of series, because you definitely want to lose nobody in the meantime. But a couple of quarters don't help nobody, don't hurt nobody, just to get a taste of it. Because as a Falcon fan, we've been a franchise 60 seasons. We don't have a Super Bowl. But if I'm looking at Super Bowl champions playing their starters, get reps. Like, come on, man. Like these folks are literally just held of the Lombardi, but they got their people on the field. Why we can't do the same? It's not gonna kill nobody.
A
So
fair
I
point.
mean, and also it's called conditioning. You know what I'm saying? Like when I look at conditioning, that means you could be able to, you like I said, those reps help with somewhat of your gameplay. If you ain't got the conditioning to be on the field, you have some of the stuff that took place yesterday on the field that happened. You know, you get a little undisciplined because you ain't conditioned. So that can't happen if anybody played the sport. You get, if you're not conditioned, you get very undisciplined.
Now let me ask you a
So,
question. So the joint practice against Tennessee,
um,
none of the starters played in that. I'm sure. I'm sure a lot of starters played in the joint practice. I mean, does that count for reps?
I'm gonna say this. I understand joint practices, but and I'm sure you can attest to this. Practice speed and game speed is two different things.
Absolutely.
Like I've seen where you can see a guy at practice don't look so fast and whatnot. Like, and then you see him in the game with that adrenaline rush. I've seen a dude that I know I've beaten in a race on many occasions outrun me to run down a tackler during the game. So like there is definitely a difference. So like I said, being at practice, I mean it helps if you do the joint practices, but that's only for 1 week in most cases. But I'm also saying, like I said, practice speed and game speed is something totally different. Yeah, you're going against competition, but you still in the middle of learning what your play calls look like, this, that, and the third. When you in the game, there's no learning no more. Is you take what you it's like taking a test. Yo, for high school football, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that's your homework. Friday is your test. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. I just kind of felt like a lot of the fans when they got when they ass got to hurting yesterday. That was their go to, and you know I hate that go to. I hate that go to shit.
I don't blame the preseason for the loss. My reasoning for the loss is vastly different from most people reasoning for the loss. And I know, and I can say that because I got nearly 1,000 likes on my Twitter post, all and I got a bunch of crying ass dumbasses who in my mentions crying, pissing, and moaning on the reason why I'm telling you that the Falcons have not changed, or the reason why they lost, but they want to say, oh, it's this, oh, it's that, and we need this, and we needed that. Man, look, bro, man, screw all that. We're going to get into it. Look, y'all, the Falcons lost the game yesterday, 23-20. Here's the problem that I have about that loss. And true, I'm pretty sure you remember this. I said this Friday on your show. I did not want If we win this game, I did not want to be like in a situation where it's like, well, we won, but if Tampa probably could have did X, Y, and Z, we would have won that game. No, I wanted us to definitively beat them. At what Coach Schultz said on Remember the Titans? Leave no doubt. That's what I wanted from the Falcons. Leave no doubt. Yesterday, I saw plenty of doubt because listen, Matt got drafted in 2008. That's 17 years ago, and I'm here to tell y'all, for nearly 20 years, and me and my homeboy been meeting each other in 2009, and he's a Falcon fan. And for as long as we've been knowing each other, the main thing we've been discussing about the Falcons is we need a defense. We need a defense that's going to come up big when you need them to come up big. Yeah, I know now since the Dan Quinn era all the way up, our defense has not done that. The only year I could think of our defense doing that somewhat over that time span was really 2023, which was ironically Arthur Smith last year. I think that was one of the better defenses that we had, even though we didn't have the stat line, but we was pretty good on getting folks off the field on third down, whatever the case may be. But watching what I saw yesterday, once Tampa got the jitters out and settled in, they went to work. The folks made the right plays. You know what I'm saying? I'm still watching my cornerbacks playing 20 yards off wide receivers. You still can't get home with a 4-man pass rush. Why in the hell did we draft 2 pass rushes in the first round for neither one of them not to see snaps? Why are we paying Leonard Floyd then that $10 million a season for this season and he's not getting any snaps? What's the point of having those guys on the field? We're rarely blitzing. You're not making in-game adjustments. Your defense somewhat still getting ran through, which I keep telling folks, we got to get us a damn 3-tech or 1-tech damn nose tackle that could clog up the lanes.
We need a damn Vita Vale.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I keep telling folks as a defensive guy, sometimes you need you don't need a DT that's gonna be a game wrecker. I just want somebody to be fat. Just be fat. A prime example that if you a football fan, if you had any inkling of go watch the highlights of the Tennessee Titans and the Denver Broncos yesterday. It was a 4th down play that the Broncos was trying to seal the game by running a QB sneak, but Tennessee got that young bull Sweat as their nose tackle, 6'4", 365 pounds. The commentator said it. You don't need Sweat to make no plays. Just be a fat man, and that's exactly what he did on that QB sneak. He was a fat man.
He just stood. He plugged it.
And Bo couldn't move an inch. That's what you need on your DT. You don't need nobody to make plays. You don't need an Aaron Donald. You just need a motherfucker that's just gonna be fat. Just be fat.
Ass crack out. Let's get it.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm sorry. Go ahead, OG.
So let me address some of what a lot of the fans are saying. Let's start with OC Zach Robinson. A lot of fans were just, you know, you would have thought he was the worst OC ever in the history of football yesterday. Again, I'm going to say it. You had 4 receivers over 50 yards receiving. 3 of those guys had 6 catches or better, and one of those 3 guys was Bijan Robinson, who had 6 catches for exactly 100 yards. We had 8 drops yesterday. But I was told the play calling was the word that was being used was what one dude said. It was the play calling was suspect. How suspect was the play calling to you?
The only problem I had about the play calling was like when it came to the run game, because you kept running this play out of the pistol formation where you run a stretch or you run a stretch plays, or with this play where all you doing is you motioning Charlie Warner to one side and then you hand the ball off and y'all running that side. I ain't gonna lie to you. or one of those drives when we was down at the goal line, if you would have ran a counter play, it'll work to perfection because the whole defense flowed to the side that Charlie Warner was motioning to. If you'd have ran the counter, he would have had a wide open lane to the end zone. But as far as play calling, to me, it wasn't that bad. But like you said, when you got your two best players on your offense with multiple drops, Drake London had multiple drops. Listen, y'all can talk about coaching all y'all want to, but what about your running back who can't catch a pitch? That's elementary, my boy.
Yep.
That's rec league shit.
Yep.
He literally dropped the pitch, a freaking pitch.
That could have been a disaster. It's good that he
It,
did get on it.
on it, but he dropped a pitch. You can't do that, bro. And then Bijan had moments where he dropped passes where he was so worried about that open field that he ain't securing the ball. So if I got both Drake London and Bijan both dropping passes, like I don't care what you talk about with play calling. Like you can't have mental mistakes like that. That come on, man, you can't do that. Go ahead.
It ain't Zach Robinson's fault. These guys dropping passes. We had way too many drop passes. Michael Penix was 2 yards shy of 300 yards yesterday. Just imagine where his numbers would have been had we not had 8 drops. I mean, because drop passes it means that something was right about the play call. Uh, Drake London dropped the pass on a basic. I guess it was a post
I think it was like a basic out route. He dropped the pass. They
he
hit him
dropped
right
the
in
pass
the
on the
hands.
out route, and he dropped one on a little skinny post. Well,
Mm-hmm.
so I mean, we had too many drops over there. The O line to me held up pretty well, at least in pass pro. Look, you got to understand that we dealing with a top 10 to 12 defense, and those guys they get after it. And you better believe every team we play gonna take a page out of Tampa's book. Look, for all y'all, stop putting Bijan, stop playing Bijan on fantasy, cause that's what's wrong with a lot of y'all. Y'all goddamn y'all
Fantasy
don't put
football.
y'all playing fantasy football. You're mad about fantasy football, or prize picks. Teams are gonna take 7 away from us. All right, that's just what it is. The only problem we had was the one bad drive Elijah Wilkinson had when he had the 2 false starts and Reddick beat him for the only sack. But other than that, you didn't hear his name called. And like they said, when you 9 times out of 10 when you don't hear old lineman's name called, that means they're doing their job.
And big shout out to him because he only been here 2 weeks, and for him to be able to be plugged in and immediately start playing. I mean, I know they say he done been on the roster like every now and then because we cut him during the preseason, but for you to get plugged in with the starters after 2 weeks, and especially the fact that like McGarry and Lindstrom was side by side for the last several years, so that's immediate chemistry. But now that Wilkinson had to come in and replace McGarry, I mean, he did pretty doggone good. I don't think he really gave up a sack. He might have to work with him when it comes to the run game because the right side of the line was pretty much our strong point when it came to Lindstrom and McGarry, and you could kind of see how Lindstrom. Not saying Lindstrom is not good because he's the best guard in football, but you could tell he missed his brother in arms in certain plays. Like you could tell is unfamiliar territory with him without having 76 out right next to him.
and a lot of plays he had to deal with Vita Vea. Boy, boy. I tell you what.
And y'all underestimate Vita Vea. That's a mammoth. That's a
Hey,
man.
hey. I'm pretty sure Chris. Pretty sure Chris took a nice ice bath. Um, let me go to one play call that baffled me.
Okay.
Um, you the first 4th and 1. The Falcons went for it 5 times on 4th down yesterday. Here's what
Mm-hmm.
happened. The first time we got stuffed. The second time and third time we converted. The fourth time was all said and penalties, and the fifth time, of course, was a Penix touchdown. All right. The first time we got stuffed. Look, everybody in the building know you're gonna run the ball. Okay. So if everybody in the building know you're gonna run the ball, why not go heavy? Why not put in your heavy back? I rarely agree with Jonathan Vilma, but he was right. That ain't a Bijan Rob. Vita Vea busted that play all the way the fuck up. So if I'm gonna run somebody up on Vita Vea, it's not gonna be Bijan Robinson. It's gonna be Tyler Algier. Now, for all I know, we probably still would have got stuffed. Me personally, on that, you up 7-3 at home. Give your defense a chance. They scored 2 of their 3 touchdowns on short fields, and that was that was one of them. Um,
I just want to add what you said about Vita very real quick.
yeah,
Remember how you said about Chris Lindstrom probably took a nice ice bath? That play
yeah,
was one of the plays, the reason why he probably taking an ice bath because
yeah. He blew Chris the fuck up on that.
he blew Chris up on that
He
one.
blew he
I
blew
saw
Chris
that.
up on that. But hey, that ain't no shot at Chris because he blow up a lot of people.
Oh
Uh,
no facts, big facts.
Other than that, I didn't have too big of an issue with Zach Robinson. Hey, he they did for the most part. They tried to stay away from Vita Vea. And a lot of time fans be having unrealistic expectations. Y'all just I don't know what y'all be wanting while you watching the game. But you know, look, I'm not finna go punch a wall. I'm not finna go punch a brick wall with a bare hand, um, because you feeling uncomfortable.
Madden.
Um,
That's why
yeah,
Madden.
yeah,
You
I'm
think
not
you
gonna
gonna
do
go out
that.
there and score 40 points every game? That is so unrealistic. That is so unrealistic. I need y'all to start that mindset. Just because
Uh,
you think
uh,
you got a great offense, that don't mean you're gonna go out there and score 40 a game. People get paid to
um,
play defense too.
Yesterday, from a pass catcher standpoint, believe it or not, even though he only had 59 yards, was one of Kyle Pitts' better games. Kyle Pitts made a couple of big catches for us. Ray McCloud
Mm-hmm.
made a couple of big catches for us. After the drop, Washington made a couple of catches for us. And these are your second and third and fourth options. Especially when Drake went down. I don't know how long he's going to be down. Um,
Yeah, they
they
say
said.
you got a shoulder sprain.
Yeah, so that they saying day to day, but that day to day can be 2 to 3 weeks.
Right.
So hopefully Mooney comes back. Um, Defensively, I like the activity early on, and then all of a sudden we kind of reverted back to some old habits. We can't keep doing that. Now that's where I will look to the sidelines. And folks get mad when you beat on Raheem, but it just seems like you could tell where Raheem may have put his hands uh, um, into the defensive play calling yesterday, right when you just mentioned it a few minutes ago. Why are my corners playing 20 yards off? Why the hell?
Mike Evans caught an out route, dog. He caught an out route on the sideline for a first down, and Mike Hughes was still like 8 yards away from him on the
Why are we
out
not?
route.
Why are we not shadowing Mike Evans with AJ Terrell every play? Some games, AJ Terrell needs to shadow certain receivers, and yes, and boy, next Sunday night he definitely going to shadow one of them guys. You better believe it.
Oh, but Mike wasn't even a factor yesterday like that. It wasn't Mike Evans that was doing us dirty. The rookie
That,
did
that,
us dirty.
that damn. But see, I don't want. Of course, you don't want the main guy beating you. You got to make somebody else beat you, and give him credit to Temple. Hey, number two did work against us yesterday. Um,
2 touchdowns in your first NFL game. Your first
Yeah,
official NFL game.
yeah. The safety kid. The safety kid gave a good showing. I needed it. Oh well, we also had 3 drops on defense.
Four, 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 four,
Four,
four.
so that's total 12. That's total 12 drops, y'all. You can't do that against a team like Tampa. Tampa could easily be a team that could back their way into a Super Bowl.
But this is what I told you earlier, OG. Undisciplined. But that's coaching. Your team ain't disciplined. You got drop passes on offense and defense. You had game changing picks on defense. Your team ain't disciplined. That's coaching. You
Um,
can you can blame whoever, but that's your head coach.
Walker and Pierce not getting that many snaps is an issue. And look, and no Floyd. I didn't see Floyd at all. I don't know what that's about, but
I think they said Floyd had 8 plays all game yesterday.
okay, so he did play.
He did on one play that Baker broke out on. Floyd was in on that play, but even then, that's still ain't enough. Like you paying this man 10 million, why is he sitting on the sideline?
We got good burn from Diablo. What's the safety name? The rookie.
Watts, Xavier Watts.
Watts. Watts had a good had a pretty good showing. Mike Hughes didn't play bad, but I know a lot of people want to bust him down. But we cannot give up that touchdown. Like pull that motherfucker down. Hey, give my defense a chance to have a goal line
I mean,
set.
shit, if I'm gonna be honest with you, I mean, I guess overall you could say he didn't, but he's the one that got scored on both touchdowns by the rookie. He touched Mike Hughes for both them TDs. Granted, now I
Okay.
ain't gonna lie, Watts on the first TD, Watts misjudged the ball, and I just talked that up being a rookie because sometimes it'd be like that. Like he misjudged the ball on the first TD because he really could have had a pick, but he misjudged it, and the ball went right over his hands and went right into Mbika's and went into Mbika's hands for the touchdown for the first TD for him. So yeah, but Mike Hughes got torched for both those touchdowns.
Okay. All right. Let me go to Young Way Cool. Uh, I done slept on it. But when he lined up to kick yesterday, I didn't say it out loud, but I had a feeling he was gonna miss that. Why did I have that feeling?
But we must be connected to the energy because I said the same shit.
Like, like when he missed it, I swear to God, when he missed it, I didn't get mad.
I didn't either. I ain't scream. I ain't cuss. I literally just said it is what it is. But immediately, who I got pissed off at was my defense giving up a late game score because I've been watching this for over a decade. I'm tired of seeing that.
Same shit. We losing games the same way. And that's when you. I mean, I different coach, same shit, different coach staff. Hopefully we get out of that. Hopefully we get out of that this year. If we don't get out of that this year, we're gonna Raheem Morris gonna lose his job. Terry Fontenot could possibly lose his job, and it's gonna be some civil unrest in Atlanta. The Young Way Cool, um, he missed 9 field goals last year. Okay, we attributed that to him having a
Hurt
bad.
injured.
Okay, he ain't injured this year. We brought in a guy this year in training camp, and to me, he looked pretty good. We chose to stay with Koo. I don't know if they said the guys on the practice squad. I'm not sure. Um,
I think
we
he is.
we can't we we can't do that. And for all of you, it shouldn't have came. For all of you, it shouldn't have came down to the kicker. Okay, all right, Captain Obvious, but he still got to make that fucking kick. All right, because all 3 of his kicks was shit yesterday. The first field goal just snuck in through the air, upright. The second one actually hit the upright and went through, and then he shanked the third one. We got. I don't want to hear. I I don't want to hear it shouldn't have came down to a field goal. No, fuck that. He got to make that goddamn field goal.
I mean, he got to make. Don't get me wrong. He got to make that field goal.
You know,
But I'm gonna say this, OG, and you know this just as well as I know. Any great player and any great coach will tell you if there's anything I'm avoiding is putting the game in my kicker legs.
yeah. I mean,
You could dig up Bill Walsh and put him in the Lazarus pit, and he gonna tell you the same thing. You could dig up Tom Landry and put him in the Lazarus pit, and he gonna tell you the same thing. I don't want the game to come down to my kicker leg. I want the game to be won and lost on offense and defense, and that's exactly what happened yesterday. Because your offense, with as much trash as people talked about Zach Robinson, it was his offensive play calling that led to you going down there and Penix getting the game, the go ahead touchdown. But due to your defense doing the same shit they've been doing for years, you watch the same shit. Your defense can't stop a soul, so now your offense got to go back out there and get and try to steal the win. And here's the problem, because we talk about our kicker missing the field goal to tie the game. Thank God Tampa kicker missed the extra point, because if he makes the extra point, it's 24-20. So you either got so it's touchdown the bus at that point. That's what I'm talking about.
In a strange way, I kind of wish he had made that goddamn extra point, because we was on the 25. We was inside the 25-yard line. We was inside the 25-yard line. That last deep shot, I don't know what happened to Kadero. I think Kadero felt like he got interfered with, and then he just quit on the play.
He quit on the play, and because that could have been a touchdown. And on one play, I got to give credit where credit was due. Shout out to Tampa safety, I think Dean, because
but you
if it wasn't for Dean, he got to bring that in. But I mean, you got to give credit. He played through the catch. If he don't play through that catch, Casey Washington walks in the end zone. So the Dean did his job. This is what I be saying, like what Herman Edwards said. You play to win the game. You get paid to play the game. They did their job. That's part of the game. Like I said, I got to give credit where credit was due, because that safety did his job. If he don't do his job, Casey Washington walks in, we're not even having this conversation. Well, I'm probably still am, because I'm still looking at the same BS that I watched last year. But everybody ain't everybody ain't got their arms in the air because we won that game.
That's the same dude that knocked that knocked the ball out of Ritter's hand across the goal line. You remember?
Yep.
Yes, that same guy.
Same dude. Same guy. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you, whether y'all want to believe it or not, I mean, I feel like more so we lost that game ourselves. But you have to give credit where credit is due on certain plays with certain guys on your opposing team made plays, and that was one of them. Because Casey had it, and it was going to be a catch and a possible walk-in for the end zone. But by him playing through the football and playing through the catch, he made the play to keep us from out the end zone. So, but like I tell anybody, as much trash you want to talk about Zach Robinson offense, the score was literally 20-17. We had the lead. Who gave the lead up? The defense. Now, if you look at last night's game, the score was 40-25. Listen, we all thought Buffalo ain't got a shot in here. But guess what? Their defense locked in. They got a turnover. And then on a crucial third and 10, you forced Lamar to throw the ball short of the first down marker, which gave your offense an opportunity to go downfield and kick their field goal to win. But your defense locked in. Your defense locked in after giving up 40 points. They did not allow nothing to go Baltimore way the rest of the freaking way. That's what I mean by making crucial plays and crucial stops in crucial moments. When you need your defense the most, they come through. With the Falcons is not like that. When I needed them the most yesterday, For no to hold the lead, listen, at least not give up a touchdown and make they kick the field goal. He already had done sank one. He sank one already in that game. So if he sank another one, we win that game 2017. We're not having that conversation because your defense did their job. But what I want folks to understand is the old phrase been standing since the beginning of time of football. Offense score points, but defense win championships. And if your opponent ain't scoring, you ain't losing. But as the 2000 Baltimore Ravens, all they had their offense to give them 10 points. We'll take care of the rest. And they did exactly that. They offense got 10, and Ray Lewis and company held everybody out the end zone. It's that
That's it.
simple.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up. We got Minnesota next Sunday night. Dare I say this is a must win?
You're currently on one of your division and on one of your conference. I ain't gonna lie to you, you can't afford to go 0-2, especially if Minnesota leads. If Minnesota wins tonight, you definitely can't go for 0-2. Because right now, I mean, I know it's early on and a lot of things can change. Um I mean, the Packers looked pretty damn good yesterday. Oh god, they defense looked rejuvenated, especially adding Michael Parsons to it. And he got a sack yesterday. And I'm talking about the sack he got on Jared Goff, the man like a man possessed. Oh my goodness. The Giants look like ass. The Commanders, they look like they were decent, but they was playing the Giants. And at this point, it's the Giants organization because Daniel Jones looked like the second coming of Peyton Manning in Indianapolis. That was ridiculous. Carolina don't look like much to be the heart desired. I mean, like I said, it's a lot of football left. But for the Falcons, I just need y'all to make the right adjustments. You're losing the same way, and that's why I have a problem with the coaching staff. You can't keep losing football games with your defense giving up late game scores, especially when you had the lead. That has to stop.
Has to.
It has to stop.
All right, we'll be back next Monday, same time. We go anywhere between 8 and 9. I'll be back. I'll be back Wednesday night. Me and LT be back with the exclusive world of wrestling. We all know we're gonna talk about on that. And then Friday morning, of course, between 8 and 9, we're gonna do the weekend preview. LT, any closing remarks?
Yeah, I'm gonna be playing. What her name was, Vivian Harwood. She had this one hit song called "Emotional Roller Coaster."
Oh, good God Almighty!
It's gonna be a repeat all season. It's
Watch
the
Rich.
emotional roller coaster.
My goodness. All right, make sure y'all. I just put my channel in the chat. If you're not subscribed, I need the love. We'll see you guys Wednesday night for the exclusive world of wrestling for my man LT. My man OG Truth with a two, Hurts with a Z. And y'all always know we seek to speak the truth, whole truth, and nothing but truth. We got Minnesota next Sunday night, and we are out.
Deuces.
Hey,
Put your eyes back in your head.